Hi, it's bonus time reflections. Our excelente confirmation. Let's see. I know you're not shushing me. What you shushing me for? I'm making too much noise. The Knight of Swords is coming. Hello, Knight of Swords. What do you want to do? Do you not see I'm translating right now?
Can I share something?
One of my anxieties just popped up on me
Can I?
real quick.
Can,
And now you want to talk all loud. Okay.
can I show you something? Show them something?
You just did.
No. Hi guys. If you subscribe to my mom's channel, that would give you 15 Robux card. And you could get them
Quick promotion.
at
Promotion?
Walmart. I put less money on it, so you could get a 10 or 25.
And that's Robux, right? Roblox.
Robux is waiting. I only have 50 of them. So subscribe to my mom's channel, and I will send you the link.
Okay. Knight just rode in real quick, doing little shout out promotions and stuff. I know that's just exclusively extraordinaires. Hey. Page of Wands. Oh. That's big business for sure. Knight rode in on magician mode for sure. Faith, if you follow Faith, you will get rewarded. So you should like and subscribe for sure. Be blessed. That's amazing. The Page of Wands is really looking dead at the Knight of Swords. Like, what's your request? Do you have faith in it? Okay, do this then. That's awesome confirmation. I'll tell you no lie. Anxiety. Are you having anxiety, honey? What is bothering you? The Knight of Swords riding in on you. Operating like a magician, huh? The Moon. Light and dark situations. This whole situation is causing you anxiety because you come off probably like a crazy person because you are operating like a magician because it's dark and you doing things that people think only daytime you can see. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. That's the only way I can really explain it, honestly. It's like somebody deceased. Come on, stop, Hanta. Somebody is deceased. Like you go to a funeral and everything, you see their body, you walk up there, you do the look. In your mind, it's like a done deal because you actually seen it. You know, you might have been in the whole process of it, but actually watching them in the coffin and putting them in the ground, you think it's a done deal. But then you have ones like me who just like, oh no, I talk to them all the time. They right there with you, you know. They like recently, not too recently, but I was out at the cemetery doing my little thing, translating with them, you know, because I connect with the divine, so I feel very comfortable being in a cemetery translating. It just makes sense, you know. Yes, I know they're everywhere, but people do like when you show up to their home. You know, it's kind of a mental thing where you have to be respectful in that area as until you know they're always with you. But that's the last destination people remember them at, so it's pretty much like their home. But I was out there doing the translation, and some people had approached me. And she was saying that these were her people, you know. And I'm just like, oh, how so intriguing, you know. Whether it was a true or not statement, I'm not sure of, but after I finished my translation, I walked over where I normally be at, and I just sat there for a minute. And something was like, "Go tell them when they get into their car, the first song on the radio is for them." And I did. And then it was like, well, at least the guy responded because it was a guy and a female, and the guy was like, "Is that a good or bad thing?" And it's like, I don't know. like go put the song on. Get to the car whenever you need to or feel you should. I can't tell you that. I'm just this is all I know. You take it how you need to, but it was told that first song on the radio is for you. It's gonna benefit you. So how did it go? I don't know, but things like that. That's how I operate and translate in that form of a way. But people do normally ask, "Is that a good thing? That's a bad thing? Can you tell me my future?" And it's like, I'm not a magician, man. I'm not a hello, Miss Cleo. You take it how it resonates, but this is the energy that's being translated to you, for you. Like, it becomes interesting. But next card, the Knight of Cups. There's a lot of spooky business happening. The Knight of Swords came in, then a Knight of Cups. Justice. Hello, light and dark situations. Justice came out. The complement to that divine work. Like, Holy Spirit is. This is where you get a little complicated to talk about, but not really. But it's within you, which is within all of us, which helps us be able to operate as one. For me, I go back to the ultimate sacrifice. And when it comes to the ultimate sacrifice, the best way I can explain it is in a Buddha shaped form of a way, as into that's naturally a spiritual teaching, a practice. Everybody else, it's kind of hard to understand that because even with myself, I have a physical form like everybody else, as into how they understand we're made in His image. But then when you see the flesh get destroyed and all that, it's like somehow you forget about the spiritual connection part that's within you because of a sacrifice. An ending, something that's your anxiety has ended. That's anxiety put to rest for sure. That's awesome. And then that's not too, just like, oh, I can't believe it. Justice, man, justice does that. The Page of Cups. Opportunities are coming. The Knight of Cups came, of course. That puts the anxiety to rest. The Knight of Cups and the Knight of Swords, they're looking at each other just like how I had the Knight of Swords looking at, what was that? Jesus Christ. Was it anxiety? What was that? Oh, Jesus. What was the Knight of Swords looking at? Oh, my Jesus. The Knight of Wands, that's what he was looking at. Being able to operate like, in the Page of Wands came out. That's the same one for that's what he was looking at. Being able to operate like a magician. They're all looking at each other. Well, the Page of Wands and the Knight of Cups is looking at the King of Swords, which was what was causing you anxiety and what was put to rest because of justice. But opportunities has come from the Knight of Cups. That's the card that's in the middle too. The Page of Wands is on the end. The Knight of Swords is on the other end. Justice is up under the Knight of Swords. What's being put to end is up under the Knight of Cups, and what is giving you anxiety is the Page of Wands. Being able to operate like a magician is causing you anxiety. The Knight of Cups, that's being put to rest. Like, whatever was causing you anxiety is put to rest. That's intriguing. Justice come and pop up like, wow. You have manifested head to toe. Head to freaking toe. That gotta go with justice also. And you're standing out. This is complement of a Page of Wands. Being able to operate like a magician. For me, that's being able to work with the divine. Like, it looks like spooky business. Like, oh my God, everything becomes just like, spooky time. Even though for me, I learned to appreciate spooky time. I really have. Like, I see why normally scary movies are funny because it's really funny. Because there's nothing to be scared of. It's just like, oh my god, you get an actual chuckle out of it because it's not as bad as people like to think of it as. If anything, it's just like it's a blessing, honestly. Um, you have seekers coming to use. You hold the key. You got the key. That's why they coming to you. This reminds me of like Pope business. That's what that reminds me of. People are coming. Seekers are on the way, if not have come. I want to say that go with justice and something that's got anxiety. What did it say in front of me? Oh, it just says presented to nothing's there from nothing's there date. Presented to awesome machine from long distance date infinite. She never put all that information. You know, you get somebody a gift and they give you a space to be able to, you know, brand yourself real quick. I'm trying to get some bonus cards too. This is a good translation though. The Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords has been it really has been causing a lot of anxiety. All my translations lately, the King of Swords normally be out. Like the King of Swords come out a lot. This is the Knight of Swords, but it's the same energy. I feel like it seems like it's still the same, like king business. Been coming out a lot with anxiety though. Which for me, it makes a lot of sense because there's been a lot of drainful energy I've been having to deal with and stay balanced in it. A plus, baby. We get A plus. And then we get a 7. Hello, light. That's Jesus. I thought Jesus was the devil. Honestly, I'm not even gonna sit here and lies. Definitely thought Jesus was. Ooh, 6. This one is God. Which, those images match too. I guess I can explain what I mean. Ooh, hot 5 in this image match. I'm gonna leave it there because the other one don't match. And this is back to back of matching. But 6 and 7, the mystery pact between these oscillantes, like sun and moon. Sun to me, that's Jesus. People believe it's just perfect because you see everything, you know. Then we have 6, which is the moon, which is bright just like the sun, except it don't give off much heat. For me, it's a comforting situation. And when you're comfortable, you know, you're not in such a display of a form of a way, you really get to figure out a lot of different things. As into what's going on around you or within you. That's why it's light and dark situations. That's why I am 6 Pride. I operate off of light and dark situations. This one, you think you see everything, but a lot of times you miss stuff that's right plain in sight. Another way I can explain it, as into me and my son, we are definitely like night and day, sun and moon. As into, for me, I would have to be a 6, as I normally am, but I would say me because the father. I'm supposed to be the one that's above him, telling him what to do. But I still operate in light and dark situations as into I don't eat meat. He does. I actually see the reason as to why it shouldn't be, and he just the total opposite of me. But I feel like if we were operating from back, where's my words at, Lord? Huh? See, the Lord, He want to be funny since I be wanting to say He's the devil. It's just like, okay, now. But seriously, that's this intriguing part. Sometimes I really get like that. Like I really can't remember what I was fitting to say, and things like that. Be Jesus. Jesus got us intriguing sense of humor. Sarcasm is on the agenda for sure. It's not in a bad way. Everything is accurate, but it's just like, you see why you cause so much confusion. you know, People don't understand that. How can I explain this? There's more than one way to do things, like the rainbow. You can have your own lane, but there's also others that's available. There's not saying that their lane is wrong. It's just you want each one of your children to be comfortable, right? Okay. Like, man, and that's part of learning to me. Um, which goes for judgment also and justice when you operate off of that aspect. I use rainbow pride all the time when I'm explaining equality. But I also see that a lot of people is not for rainbow pride. They take that and they just, oh, the book says this is forbidden, wrong, going straight to hell. Like, whoa. Is that the love book or what is that thingy? Because that love book don't say nothing like that. If anything, you are mistranslating it. That's it. And why are you mistranslating it? Is probably from a closed perspective. Um, but we all got work to do. Um, but I do see that that book caused a lot of confusion for sure. Definitely, if you're not a spiritual person, like full blown into your spirituality, then you're going to get confused. That book is based off spirituality, like a magician. Like luckily we get to see it actually display in our everyday life. I know I do. I don't read the holy book. I used to. I got one from a church I was going to, which I still do. That's my home church, but they made me feel a certain type of way, so I stopped going for a minute. But which I'll talk about that another time. But I won't talk about it now. When I first entered into faith walking, I went to church because it's like that's where I really need to be at, and I felt the need to go to the Pacific church I went to. I'm surrounded by like 59 of them, but some just said go right to that one. Because at first, my first idea was to go and hop in every single church. Like, I'm going to this church on this Sunday, next church I'm going there, just because I felt like that was the right thing to do. But then I went to one, I had an awesome length of time, cried, it felt like I was at home. But fast forward into the story, I actually talked to the priest, ordained minister. I'm not sure which one he go by, but pretty much God assistant. And I was telling him that I was new in the faith walking, and a lot been going on, but God been telling me He got it under control and all that. And even till I was going by St. Ginger, and took my son from me, and this the whole bunch that was going on. I was telling him about, and his response to me just was very intriguing. I don't know if I took it personally or that was like a lesson for him at that moment. And some people don't catch a lesson so quickly. They take time because it's new to them, so they really don't know how to respond to it. And I believe that's what that situation was, because he just was lost. And he told me some foolery that made me just be like, this is why people don't show up here, man. How you gonna tell me to settle when you didn't even settle? Your people didn't want you doing this for a living, maybe a little here and there practice, a side hustle or something, but they didn't want you investing your time in just some make-believe stuff, even though, it's not make-believe, but That's how they look at it, you know, and it be the ones close to you in your family who do this intriguiness. So for me to actually be a faith walker and go to people who already been doing this and they tell me some foolery like that, as into I should settle and they didn't, I felt a lot of a way, honestly. But something that benefited me that he told me was I'm needed outside the building. I'm not needed in there. And that's nothing that made me get a little offended. 'Cause I'm like, oh, you trying to kick me out. You think I'm like not good enough for this building. But I realized, as I said in the beginning, as into this is why people don't show up to this building. There's work outside of the building that needs to be done so people feel comfortable enough to go in there. Um, and a lot of us believers have to do it, but we all think we got to be inside the building all together and not with them. And that's just like, no, 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 guys. You know, that's why I do appreciate my Normans because they do it. They actually show up at your door like, here you goes. They still got some work to do because, you know, I already talked about that as into use your book, you know. Pray to God, you know, get that 411 so you can translate it to them when you show up to their door. Like, come ready so they'd be crazy to turn you down. But when you look like you just don't know, you just showing up because, you know, somebody told you this is how the process goes, so you're supposed to show up to somebody's door and tell them something about this book. Get more in tune with it, I would say. I like to highlight, and if I was doing that, whatever I highlighted that night, that's what I'm giving to them because it's what it was meant to give. Um, some people do it within the moment, open a book up. I like to do that too, and just whatever the first chapter or verse I see, that's what I'm giving you. Because it's meant to be, you know. It might not resonate at that moment, but later on it will, or maybe it might right at that moment, and that's signs of yesness. Because they used to ask me a lot as into when they used to come see me, as into so what happens in the end, you know? And I'm just like greatness, man. Like what do you want me to say? Like, but I have realized it's just like what I do at the moment, like original way of communicating and getting things done. Like in that holy book, you would hear stories as into how messages were sent through people, but they already knew in advance that people were coming to them with information, you know, and it wasn't on the phone like I'm calling you and such is on their way. Like they already knew this type of stuff in advance before they showed up. And that's interesting because that's what the translation also said too. Some people are going to be coming to you. You have seekers. And the book speaks of that type of communication, which that's one reason why I voted for Trump. Because I was excited by that. Hearing make a place great again. This is part of it. With the intriguiness, like we naturally can communicate still from a distance. We don't have to social distance. Like there's no such thing as social distance. Maybe physical distance, but there's no such thing as social distance. That's just unless you think about it in a metaphor as into really being at a distance and communicating, like social distance, because we're socially distant but we're communicating. If you understand that, like you are in that area, but other than that, no, you don't have to be face to face to communicate. No, it is always nice though, but it's way deeper than that. So remember, be kind. You are a reflection. That was our bonus.